Professor Black Ops, you see it. Let's get it. Thousands of images on Docker Hub leaks authorization secrets and private keys. That is not good. Let's look at the article. Researchers at the Aachen University in Germany published a study revealing that tens of thousands of containers image hosted on Docker Hub contains confidential secrets, exposing software, online platform, and users to a massive attack surface. Docker Hub is a cloud-based repository for Docker community to store, share, and distribute Docker images. These container creations templates includes all the necessary software code, runtime libraries, environment variables, and configuration files to easily deploy an application in Docker. Docker and Kubernetes are running the container world. So if you see right there, you can see the Docker image creation diagram down there. You got the Docker local files, how you create them, root image, base image, layers, local files, the registry, how you register when to upload it. Then you download it with your registry key and compose container file systems. Then the containers out there, you get on the internet. So that's kind of at a high level. The German researchers analyzed 337,000 images from Docker Hub, and thousands of private registry found that roughly 8.5% contain sensitive data, such as private keys and API secrets. That's still huge. That's going on in a lot of places, right? People leave those private keys and those API secrets, right? Which is bad. The paper further showed that many of those exposed keys are still actively used, undermining the security elements that depend on them, like hundreds of certificates. Inadvertently exposing secrets, the study assembled a massive data set of 1.6 million layers from 337,000 Docker images, sourcing the latest image versions from each repository when possible. The data analysis used regular expression to search for specific secrets, revealed the exposure of 52,000 valid private keys, 3,000 distinct API secrets, and 28,000 Docker images. The above figures were validated by researchers, excluding the test keys, example of API secrets, and invalid matches. Most of the exposed secrets, 95% of the private keys and 90% of the API secrets, reside in a single user image, indicating that they were likely unintentionally leaked. Right, so that shows you your private keys right there and your API secrets. The highest impact was on Docker Hub, which had a percentage of secret exposure of 9%, while image sourced from private repositories exposed secrets at 6.3%. That's what you doing when you're doing your pipeline, you're doing your configuration management. You should be scanning for secret keys, private registries, exposed secrets. That should be part of your pipeline. When you talk about DevSecOps, part of DevSecOps is looking for those private keys and those API secrets. The difference may indicate that Docker Hub typically has a poor understanding of container security than those set up by private repositories, because that's open to the public, right? So there's the private keys, the API secret operation that includes most API secrets are inserted by file and private keys by execution. Use of exposed keys. Next, the researcher needed to determine the actual use of exposed secrets to appreciate the attack surface. Alarmingly, 22,000 compromised certificates relied on exposed private keys were found. 7,500 private CA signed and 1,000 public CA signed certificates. The 1,000 CA signed certificates are a particular concern, as these certificates are typically used by a large number of users and are usually universally accepted. At the time of the study, 141 CA signed certificates were still valid, somewhat lessening the risk. To further determine the use of exposed secrets in the wild, the researchers used 15 months worth of internet-wide measurement provided by Census Database and found 275,000 hosts relied on these compromised keys. So they're breaking it down. This includes, you see it, 8,000 message queues, 19 host queues, PostgreSQL had 426,000 FTP servers. Elasticsearch had three for MySQL instance. What look like containers are using more PostgreSQL, obviously. SMTP was 8,000. POP3 mail was 1,500. So that's just showing you the numbers. Kubernetes was 24 Kubernetes instances that use least keys, which can lead to remote shell, extension on botnets, and further data access. That shows you there. I'll put of course, the link in the description. The level of exposure highlights a massive problem in container security and carelessness on the creation of images without sanitizing them of secrets. Regarding the API exposure, the analyst found that most of the containers, literally 3,000, belong to cloud providers like Amazon, AWS, but some pertain to financial services such as Stripe. However, the researchers cited ethical limitations in validating exposed API secret against their service points. So their use in the wild is unknown, right? So you don't want to go too far where you're actually hacking the people when you're doing your research. But once again, we got to do a better job. Come on, Docker. Thousands of Docker images leaked, authentication secret, and private keys. Once again, Professor Black Ops, we got to do better on that container security. Professor Black Ops, please subscribe.